I think it's time to get rid of some books. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane and today I'm unhauling some books. So my physical TBR is getting out of control and I think that I need to get rid of some books, and it's actually really hard for me to get rid of books. I don't know why. I just don't like to throw away stuff, but I need to do it because no way that I will be able to read all of my physical TBR, and it's better for me to keep books that I actually want to read. Now I don't have a lot of books today and I will need to do a big haul someday, but I think that this is a good start. So yes, let's get to the books. The first book is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. So I actually have this book, I think, for years in my bookshelf. I bought it before I got to my really huge reading slam, and I actually think that I started to read this book 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, there is actually a bookmark at page 25. Interesting. And this is actually a signed first edition, and this is the reason that I didn't got rid of this book until now. Although I don't really want to read it. Like 2-3 years ago when I bought it, I wanted to read it, but it's been a long time ago. And this is like some kind of a fantasy story with a lot of fantasy creatures, zombies, ghosts. I don't know, it seems like a lot. And yes, I just think that I have so many really interesting books on my bookshelf, and I just don't see myself reading it, like never, because I have so many other books that I prefer to read and not this one. And yes, it's a little bit sad because this is a signed edition. I just got it from Book Depository, like I didn't know this is a signed edition. Nice. But I believe that someone else will enjoy this book better than me, so I'm just letting it go. The second book is The Impossible Vastness of Us by Samantha Young. Now I actually got this book not a long time ago, and the reason that I got it is because it was in a really good discount. It cost something like $2-3, really cheap. And Samantha Young is a romance author, and like I see a lot of her books in bookstores, and because I see so much hype around her, at least where I live, I wanted to read books from her, but I didn't want to start her really long series. And this is a standalone, I think, but this is romance. This is an adult romance, aka steamy erotic, and I think that I'm starting to realize that I don't really enjoy steamy books. Like I enjoy the idea of steamy books, but a lot of times in steamy books there is too much steaminess and not enough plot, and everything moves really slow. Like I won't be against reading something with something steamy in it. I just don't love where this is the main thing of the story, because I love seeing more plot, and a lot of times the plot is interesting but you don't see enough of the plot. So I just trying to get rid of some adult romance books that I have, because I just don't enjoy them to the same level that I enjoy fantasy books, and I would continue reading steamy books because sometimes you want to read something like this, but most of the time I don't really enjoy them. I just don't think that I will ever read it, and I need to get rid of books. Now the next 2 books are actually thrillers that sounds really interesting, and I have those 2 books in my bookshelves for years, and I started to read both of them also 2-3 years ago. And if you are not new to my channel, you know that I'm not the biggest thrillers reader. I think that thrillers are a hit or miss for me, and I read thrillers that I really enjoyed, but most of them I don't really like, and the plot of those 2 books sounds good, but I don't really want to read them because this isn't my favorite genre, and I think that other people will enjoy these books way better than me. The first book is I Hunt Killers by Barry Liga, and this is basically about someone who his dad is a serial killer, and his dad went to jail, but now there is another serial killer that is copying his dad's methods, and the main character helps the police to catch this killer because he is afraid that the police will think that he did all the murders or something like this. And again, it actually sounds a really good plot and a really good book, but I don't really love thrillers, and I have a few thrillers on my TBR that I'm way more excited to read than this one. And the second thriller is Game by Andres de la Morte, something like this, and this is a story about some kind of game where the players get tasks that they need to accomplish, and the tasks just get more and more dangerous. And I love those kind of books where there is a game, and this is like the main reason that I picked this book. But I actually read a good amount of it, and I don't remember, I think that it was slow at start, and it just didn't really made me want to continue reading this book. So yes, I'm going to get rid also from this one. Now the next book is a book that I actually already read also 2-3 years ago, and I really didn't like this book, and this book is The School for Good and Evil by Somen Chainene. Now I think that the idea of the book is really good, but I read it and I think that I gave it 1 star, like a really bad rating, think I was so disappointment from this book. And now I think that this is a middle grade book. At least it felt to me like a middle grade book. At the start, I really was excited to read this book because this is something fantasy, and this is like about a boarding school with good or evil and a lot of fantasy. It sounds like a book that I would enjoy, but I really hated the characters and the plot and everything. It just was really bad. And I always see in bookstores the rest of the series, and the covers I think are really gorgeous. But yes, if I'm not mistaken, this is a middle grade, and maybe this is the reason that I didn't enjoy it, because it felt really young to me and I didn't like it. So yes, I'm also giving it away. So yes, those are the 5 books that I'm unhauling today. Now I'm going probably to give it away to friends. They will get a good home, don't worry. And yes, like I think just other people will enjoy them way better than me. And I do have a really big physical TBR, and I prefer to not see the books that I don't want to read in my physical TBR. So yes, hopefully this unhaul will make me just want to unhaul more books that I don't want to read. We need to start somewhere. I'm uploading 2 times a week on Sundays and Wednesdays, but until the next video you can check more videos by me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone!